Happy evening. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me well. Can you hear me well? Can you give me a thumbs up? Hello. Can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me well? Okay, awesome. All right, so I'll get started. First of all, let me all wish you a very happy evening. And in this lockdown period, all of us are by and large stuck in our own houses. Let me start with saying thanks to global insurance brokers for giving this opportunity for such lovely Facebook live sessions where different topics are covered by different professionals, and it's a privilege and honor to be in this Facebook live page. And this is my first time I am doing a live thing on a Facebook, so excuse me if I'm appearing very scared. I'll get used to it in very quickly. So by the way, maybe I'll just quickly introduce about myself. My name is Arun Kumar Natha, and by profession, I'm a chartered accountant, and I've done my ICAA and MBA and so on. Having worked in several, corporates in my career over a period of time. By the way, I'm not familiar with reading comments, so I'm just going to keep talking to you for now. And there will be a spot where we will have some question answer session. So at that time, I will look for the comments to understand what comments you're putting. In case I can't respond to your comment immediately through the session, I will reply, after the session, when I come back to read the comments. So that's a little background about myself. So being in the profession in the last about 3 years, I've started my own firm, and purely with the intent of creating a financial freedom, financial literacy for people, and that's my purpose and vision that I'm working on. Working with several entrepreneurs, professionals, students, and homemakers. That's why there is a small poll going on. Just want to know who you are and what to describe yourself, so that I know who are all there. So you can just click on one of the 4 options to describe yourself. So let me start by saying something very profoundly impacted me. When I heard this statement, which says that the sign of progress of any person is when all these 5 come in search of them: money, power, fame, position, and opposite sex. When all these 5 come in search of you, that means you are progressing and there is some success in your life. This is what I heard from my Guru Mahatria. And I really believe that that is such a profound truth. And it is also true that the rise and fall of every human being is because of one of these 5 elements, whether you use it well or not. So whether they are in control of you or you are in control of them makes all the difference. If all these 5 sources are in control of you, then it becomes a fall. If you are in control of all these 5, that is money, power, sex, and all these 5 are in your control, you are in charge of your own life. So here I want to talk about money, and that is where this whole topic about financial literacy, and it's a peak view. Obviously, I'm not here to teach you, in 30 minutes how to become a multi-billionaire. But I can assure you that in this 30 minutes, you will get your fundamentals right, wherein you can be a multi-billionaire if you can follow a few basic fundamentals in terms of looking at your money, looking at your finances. So that is what I'm going to cover in this time what we have. I choose to work on the money aspect because whether we like it or not, money is such an important element in our life, and for some reason we money seems to be such a straightforward thing. इसमें क्या है? What is there to learn? Money is there. Either I have money or I don't have money, or I'm chasing. I don't have enough avenues, or I have a lot of ways to earn money. It appears so simple and it appears so straightforward thing, but frankly, it's not so straightforward, because many a times we either underestimate or overestimate what is this aspect called money. And if you really look at it, and that is what my heart, whenever I come across anyone fallen prey to the fact that they have not figured out how to manage money, and because of that they have fallen. I keep reading news about someone has just gone for an IP, that is insolvency, or some families are fallen apart because there are gaps and disturbance in the family for some reason or the other, right? It can be on the issue of property, or it can be something to do with business, but the crux of the matter is money. Okay, so because some aspect of money is not either understood, or we have not given enough attention to it. I've come across like Boris Becker, famous tennis player. He became bankrupt because he just didn't know how to manage money. Of course, he would have had a lot of people, advisor, a lot of people would have been around to help him. But then still, since he was not equipped enough, probably, I'm assuming that he probably was not equipped enough to manage the situation. So he has fallen and become a bankrupt. So where does it start? What is it so complex about money, or why it is so hard sometimes? Before even going about it, I want to say that first of all, let's know that money, or managing money, is a skill. It can be learned. It is not so complex that oh no, only those who are very intelligent, they'll know it. Or some star should be in your favor, or some luck should be there. Let's get away from all of that. Money is a skill. Managing money is a skill. Finance is a skill. And in my view, if it is such an important element where it determines the rise and fall of an individual, I would say managing money is a life skill. Okay, so first let us figure out how to learn. What are the things that we should do to learn how to manage money? So the moment I say skill, it can be learned. It is not complex. It can be learned, and there are ways to do it. And enough people have done it and conquered managing this. Okay, so let me talk about as a life skill, how do we conquer this? Before even I go about talking about any techniques or tools and things like that, let me talk about a few attitudinal shift we need to have. There are a few attitudes that we must develop about managing money in the first place, because tools, techniques, methods, if at all you're waiting for me to tell you, okay, here is the place where you should go and invest money, or this is where you should do, this is what you should not do. Frankly, I'm not going to cover so much about all of those things. I'm going to talk about few fundamentals. Okay, the first and foremost attitude towards money is, number one is curiosity. Yes, we need to be curious about money, about managing money. We need to be curious about learning. Okay, if at all any of you are experiencing this session, if at all you think that I know about money, or if at all you are thinking that I don't know about money, I have a problem. Okay, in fact, I'll just stop this poll, and I'm going to open another poll for you guys. Okay, so by the way, so far the people who are there is majority of them are professionals. So I'm going to focus a lot about professionals here. Okay. So let me ask you another question. Through this through this voting process. So you will hear some more polls as we go along. So let me come back to the attitude. So the first attitude is curiosity. So we need to be curious about learning some aspect or the other about money, because you know, either saying I know it or not, or saying I don't know it, both are not good. All we have to say is I want to know it. I want to learn about this. I want to learn about this aspect of managing money. That will help you. That will help you to move towards learning about managing money, and also find ways to improve upon. And it is a continuous process. Curiosity is not about once in a while. It is a continuous process. So we got to be curious about even this 30-minute session. It's become a habit that if at all any 30-minute session, anything more than 1 minute video, we tend to skip them or skim them through. Okay, that's not going to do any good, because when we are curious, you have to endure it, you have to follow it, you need to have some kind of patience to go through something which is coming on your way. So first, be curious. Okay, curiosity is one important attitude that we must have to acquire this skill called managing money. Second one is patience. We need to have patience. I have come across people saying that I want to earn crores of rupees overnight. I want to become very rich, or I want to have this mansion, or I want to, run such a big organization. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, we can do all of this if we have this attitude of patience. We need to have patience. Everything takes time. Everything takes time. I just heard someone is saying that to produce a baby, you need those 9 or 10 months. She has to pursue it. Only then it is going to happen. So everything needs time. So we need to have patience. So when you are in the pursuit of money, let's have patience about what we are pursuing. We choose, work towards it, learn and improve upon. So that is the second attitude. So one is curiosity. The second one is patience. Okay. The third one is another most important one. The third one is we need to be consistent. I have seen, people just jump into stock market because somebody made, a lakh of rupees profit, so they just jump into it. I have seen somebody puts money on a business because somebody else has put. I have seen people jump into, certain seasonal businesses, or get into some, or they change jobs. People change jobs because another company is giving 15% more or 25% more. So they'll just move a job without even thinking about what is the future in it. So an important thing about pursuit of money is we need to be consistent. We have to hold on to something. Whatever we have chosen, we need to hold on to it. We need to wait for some time. We need to allow anything to fructify. So for example, if you have chosen a way, or if you are, let's say you have taken a job, you got to invest at least 2 to 3 years. I understand if you decide to leave the job in 2 months or 1 month because whatever the culture and things like that you don't like, you leave, that is okay. But if you are there for you got to be there for at least 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 years to even learn something about that industry, something about that company, something about the environment, something about the customer process. To learn anything, it takes that kind of time. If you are taking a call to change jobs every 1 year, 6 months, I've come across people leave jobs in 9 months, 15 months, and so on, which is which is all about not having that attitude of consistency. If you're not consistent in anything, it's very hard for it's very hard for you to get anywhere. So three attitudes that we need to have: curiosity. Okay, we got to be curious. We need to have patience, and we need to be consistent. When all these three are there, there are good chances that you will be able to, learn this important element of managing money over a period of time. And it is a never ending. There is no age limit for this. At any point of time, we got to keep a track of it. Okay, we need to be familiar with it. So let's make sure that we have these three attitudes when it comes to managing money. We got to have this curiosity, patience, and consistency. Okay, so having said this, now I want to roll out one more poll. Just this is a fun one. So let's just quickly click on whatever answer that comes to you. How familiar are you with managing your finances? Very well, somewhat, or I don't know. So there are three options must be flashing on your phone or computer or anywhere. So you can click on that. Okay, so while you're responding to it, so like I was saying, familiarity about managing your finances. It is not that you got to know everything. Okay, nobody knows everything. Even if you talk to anybody, the wealthiest person in the world, if you ask them have they cracked it, I don't think they will say it. I don't think they will say it because it is a continuous process. We have to keep learning. We have to keep finding ways to improve upon. So familiarity with the money, I'm glad many of you are saying somewhat you are familiar, which is a good state to be in. Those who are saying very well, a word of caution, because very well is you are on the risk of not learning or not exploring newer opportunities which may be coming. In fact, as recent as day before yesterday, I learned, having been in the finance profession so long, I learned a few aspects about managing money. For example, an aspect of creating an estate planning where, after you, or even when you are there, how you will ensure that your wealth is managed effectively. And so there are clarity between who are the right beneficiaries that you want to give your wealth to. It's a process by itself. The entire estate planning is such a huge area that we have to learn. So this is one thing I've just learned as I'm talking. I'm sharing it with you in terms of what is that I have learned recently. So there is no end to learning about managing our finances. We have to be curious about learning different ways in which we can conquer, or we can master the aspect of managing our finances. So I'm going to stop this poll for now. Okay. Okay. So that's the results, what you are seeing there. So good position, somewhat is a better position to be in. There is always need to be curiosity to learn various ways of managing money. And how do you learn? We just have to go and search for knowledge, look for people, talk to people. Of course, even if you get a tip from someone, don't just go blindly. Ask more questions. Fortunately, we have Google. You can put anything. Of course, it will give some good ones. Sometimes it will give some crap, but that's okay. But as long as you keep reading multiple things, you will learn some new things. You will learn some do's and don'ts of doing certain things. So get curious and keep learning about the aspect of managing money. Okay, so now when it comes to what is this money? Where is this money called? How does it work? So money is in different forms. There are many forms in which money gets manifested. It is in physical cash, physical currency, notes, or it can be in the form of assets that we build, or it can be in the form of knowledge. Knowledge also is a form of how you accumulate wealth. There is something called goodwill. How do you get goodwill? Because of some intellectual property comes in. So that is also a form of money which is there. Or it can be in the form of liabilities, where you would have taken certain loans. And there is let me talk about some myths about the whole thing. Sometimes a lot of people think that taking loans is not good. Maybe not true. Loans is one way of funding. One way of funding for doing something, doing your own business, or even for your own profession. Taking loan is okay as long as you know how to manage it, as long as you are able to create a portfolio and manage the whole thing. And also there are some misconceptions that if you're a professional, for example, you can't be very rich. Because end of the day I'm an employee. How much I can be wealthy? How much I can grow? Which is a misconception. I know personally people. As an employee they earn like 20 crores a year. Okay, they earn. Okay, as an employee. Okay, so there are opportunities, there are possibilities. So never underestimate the power of money. No matter in what capacity you are in, even if you're a professional, there are possibilities of making a lot of money. Uh, uh, and there is another misconception that if I have to make a lot of money, I have to work a lot, which is also a misconception. Okay, you don't have to work a lot. Okay, do you think Mukesh Ambani works 48 hours a day? He's the richest man in India. He also has 24 hours, like you and me. He's the richest man in India. So it's nothing. There's no equation between how much money you make and how much time you invest. If you are making 1 lakh rupee with 8 hours of time, okay, to make 2 hours, 2 lakh rupees, you don't have to work 16 hours. In fact, with 5 hours, you can earn 2 lakhs. It is possible, and there are enough people who are doing it. So there is no direct comparison between, the time invested and how much money you earn. It can be very disproportionate. Another misconception is, students, those who are going for their school or college, they think that, oh, I'm a student. What is that I can do? What is that I can do? I don't have anything. I'm only spending. No, it's a misconception. You can also earn. There are ways to earn. In fact, my own son, I can give him as an example where with the pocket money of whatever small money we are given, he's already created about 30,000. No, as we speak, it's about 40,000 rupees worth of money in his account, where he is trying to play with it and trying to invest on a few things. So, as a student, okay, it is possible to manage money. Okay, let you learn it. You learn it sooner. The sooner you better, the better for you. Okay, and also for example, homemakers. Okay, they also feel that, oh, I'm a homemaker. What can I do? No, as a homemaker also there are many ways to make money or manage your finances. Okay, if you have 1 hour a day, there is a possibility of earning at least 25,000 rupees a month. Why will you not say no to it? If you are a homemaker, I'm sure taking out an hour a day is very much possible. If you can take out an hour a day easily, I'm saying this is the bare minimum you can earn is about at least 20 to 25,000 rupees a month is possible. So let's take away some of these myths. Let's figure out how we can make money or how we can earn and also manage it well, so that we are not constrained by either time or age or the role that we are playing. Even for an entrepreneur somewhere they think that, oh, okay, I've come across retail people. If they have a huge stock in their shop, they feel so proud that मेरे दुकान में बहुत माल है. Maybe that's not the way you should run business. More inventory doesn't mean that you are making money, because inventory cost, and when there is so much inventory is there, non-moving inventory is a drainer to your bottom line. So be aware of it. Be familiar with am I doing it right? Am I doing well? Is there a better way of doing things? Okay, and there is no even if you are a billionaire, even if you think you are doing everything right, just be aware that there are better ways to do it. There are ways to do better, in a better way, and there are things you need support. In fact, personally, even for myself, I have advisors who are helping me to get things right, who are helping me to make those minor modifications, which helps me to become a lot more sharper in my my way of doing things, my way of working, everything. So we need help at every point of time. It is up to us to go and seek for help. Okay. So money can be in different forms. So it can be physical currency, assets in the form of liabilities, or it can be intellectual. Okay. So let me ask another question to all of you. Okay, it's a poll coming on your way. You can quickly click on this question now. How do you measure money? There are 4 options are given. So you can go ahead and click on one of the options. How do you measure money? Is it your bank balance or assets? Is it your cash flow or net worth? You can choose one of the 4. Because measuring money is another important aspect for us to be familiar with. Because I've come across people say that I'm not doing well. When I ask them, why do you think so? Why you feel that you're not doing well? They said, I don't have money in my bank account. I've come across people, they say that I don't think I'm rich enough. I just have one house and that's it. I've come across people, they say that, I've come across people, in fact, the other way also happens. They say that I'm doing 200 crores turnover, so I feel I'm doing very well. But the question to ask is 200 crores turnover, if you are making a profit of 0.5% and things like that, maybe that's not the best option. And especially if you are not managing working capital well, then you are in big trouble. So top line alone is not enough. So we need to look at different aspects. We need to look at different aspects of how to measure it money. Okay, we need to understand what aspects goes into measuring money and know that how do you know that you are wealthy? What makes you believe that you are doing well? Okay, so I'm going to stop the poll now. So here is it for you guys to know what is the response. I'm so glad that the response is good. 58% of you believe that measuring money is by calculating net worth. You are absolutely right. Net worth is the one measure that we have to follow when it comes to measuring money. Okay, so what we mean by net worth? Net worth is a very simple formula wherein you total all the assets that you have. Okay, it can be bank balance, cash in hand, jewelry, properties, okay, or the loans that you have given to others. Add up all of them. That is your total assets. And then on the other side, you add up all the liabilities you have. That is your property loans, your borrowings that if at all you have taken, any loans that you have. So total assets minus the liabilities. Okay, that is your net worth. So that is your real worth of your financial position. Okay, so at any point of time, you want to know how wealthy you are, calculate this net worth figure. So that will tell you how wealthy you are at this point of time. And this is something we'll have to do it on a periodical basis. So I want to ask you another question. Okay, are you ready for one more question? How often you review your financial positions? So when I say financial position, it's about where is the money going and coming, where are you spending, where are you parking this money. So there is a new poll which is on your window now. So you can click one of the 4 options. How often you review your financial position? Okay, so measuring is one aspect where you measure on some period, but important thing is we also have to review it. We need to review it on some frequency so that we are on track of it. We are, for example, let's say I want to go from point A to point B. If I don't measure whether I'm moving towards point B or not, then I may not be going towards point B. I may be going the other way. So measuring is an important element when it comes to any progressive aspect, whether it is money or personal growth or health, it can be any aspect. So we need to measure. So measuring can happen only by reviewing it on a periodical basis. Okay, so how frequently you doing it is an important aspect. Okay, so I have the poll results in front of me, which I'm just going to publish at this moment itself. So 41% of you have said that you review your financial position on a monthly basis, which is a pretty good number. And those who are doing 25% of you are doing on a yearly basis. Occasionally is also there. And no clue is a set of people. I just want you to be aware that you have something to learn. Okay, how do you remember? As I was talking about, once you measure what is your net worth, that is total assets minus your liabilities, that is your net worth. So this is, let's say today on 29th of April, you do it. After a month, when you calculate the same figures, it will be different. The total net worth will be changing. Ideally, your aspiration should be to increase that net worth. So as long as your net worth is increasing, that means you are doing well. If your net worth is decreasing, that means there is an opportunity for you to go and fix something in the way you manage your finances. So reviewing, and as you come to review profit, it is also important that your this is one of the things which I've come across. When people review it, it is only with the person who is handling the finances, and they don't share it with family members. For example, the male member is working in the house, and the male member may be doing all of this, but they're not sharing with the spouse or children for that matter. So I would just to share the position and position to your family members. In fact, you show money meeting with the family, you get an point to say, hey, guys, this is what we have done. This is the kind of assets we create, this is the kind of life we have, this is our network, this is the increase that happened in the last one. So of how to increase the network. Okay, so discuss with your family, and also importantly, you need to have your estate planning, done in terms of writing a will or trust or doing a power of attorney, whatever the mode in which it needs to be done. We must do that. Okay, sharing is an important element when it comes to reviewing process. And let it be a family affair. It's not, let it not be one person struggling to do the whole thing. Okay, so let me quickly summarize what all we have done. One, we need to have an attitude towards managing money. Three attitudes: curiosity, patience, consistency. All the three attitudes we need to have. And then we also have to learn to measure money. We need to measure it and then monitor it. And that is the way to continuous progress. When we can get this entire cycle done, we are in a progressive mode. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, and hope this particular session has been helpful to you. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to go through your comments, which I will go through and I will come back. If there are any questions, you can post it now or even post it even later. Okay, I will, I will respond to as soon as possible. Okay, thank you so much. Have a nice evening, and wishing you a healthy, happy, and progressive life. Thank you.